I think she's remorseful that she's being punished. I do not believe that she's remorseful for what she did.
I do reflect back and know that it was my family that created this. We made a mistake, and it should have never happened. But sitting here as long as I have in prison, I strongly believe that I do deserve a lesser sentence. I was sentenced with 2 life sentences and 2 50-year sentences running concurrent. You know, do I believe it's disproportionate? Absolutely. I've been in the system for years of filing appeals and stuff, but with the word life, I can be here until I die.
Calling this a fight is definitely an understatement. This was a brutal, brutal beating. And to this day, I can't imagine how or why any adult would get involved in something like this.
In no way do I see that she's taking any kind of responsibility or being accountable for her actions. The core of what I think she's getting at is, wait, I didn't have a weapon. How could I have murdered anyone? But she physically chokes Matthew.
I threw myself in that fight because Terry was in a headlock. Matthew had him in a headlock. I mean, what would you do? Did I know they were teenagers at the time? Absolutely not. And it's not okay for an adult to put their hands on children or teenagers. I lived through that kind of abuse, and I know what that feels like. But is it okay that a teenager put their hands on an adult or a child too? No. The only one I wanted to fight was my brother-in-law and my husband, because they ended up taking my son to that scene. I didn't know that there was going to be a murder. So how am I responsible for somebody else's actions when I'm not the mind reader?
Whether they're remorseful or whether they take responsibility, I don't know. Obviously, Terry took his own life, and Jerry took a plea deal. Kimberly, I don't think she ever felt like she was wrong. But Matthew's seizures were a direct result of the assault. She is responsible.
You know, so many people have lost their lives just out of this one case alone. And he's one of them. And am I sorry for that? Absolutely. But Matthew's death was almost 6 years later after the crime. So for me to be totally responsible, no, not for his death. I think about this crime every day. Why? To relive what I went through. And what I've learned out of this is control yourself. Don't put your hands on other people. And communicate. I can't ever repay back what was lost. But what I can do is change myself as a person, do my time that I was sentenced to do, and to be able to be a productive citizen once I leave here. Because too many people, and I can't reiterate that enough, too many people have lost their lives over this one incident.
I still carry that nightmare in my head all the time. I loved her, and to this day, I still miss her. You know, I know that I can't take her back.
Yo. Just going through my
I didn't
cards
mean
and
to do what I
looking
did.
in particular.
That night turned to be a horrible night, and I'm sorry what happened.
I think we could all be dangerous people.
People say you're a monster.
Oh, Whitefish is a pretty small town. We've got mountains, we've got animals, you know, we've got the Montana lifestyle. That night, in June of 1999, there was a 911 call came in that a motorist had been flagged down by a male claiming that his wife had been hurt. As we rounded the corner, observed a male standing over a female performing CPR on her. She was laying on the ground in front of a car. The male, he looked like he was scared to death. He was in full panic mode. He started shouting, help, help. And we advised him to continue CPR on her. He was telling us they had started arguing and things had gotten out of hand and he hurt her. But I don't believe it was his intent. I don't believe he meant to kill her. I really don't. But that's what happened.
For once in my life, I wanted to be a better person, do my thing as a husband. I wanted to have a good life and a good marriage, and I wanted to make our life really good. But when that night happened, everything went wrong. This time, I'm telling my side of the story, what happened, and that's exactly the truth. My parents adopted me when I was very young. I was less than a month old. I didn't know nothing about my real family. My adopted parents and their real son, they're all white. But I was told by my adopted parents that I was a Blackfeet Indian. Felt like I was an outcast in school. And I was a very shy kid. I didn't like talking to people. I never fit in. My mom, she was a housewife. She took care of us. I loved my mom very much. But my dad was a very hard man to us kids, you know. The beatings and stuff like that started when I was 5 years old until I was early teenager. He really literally took the garden hose and just whipped us until we were bloody. It built a lot of anger in me, you know, and I had to hold it in. And holding it in felt like a time bomb, you know. My dad gave me money, and I headed to live on my own. And I traveled over. I did everything I can to survive. I was doing a lot of coke. I got into heroin, LSD. I was blocking out the past. And everything was just coming to look like a ball, you know. And I felt like I wanted to go crazy. And I think I made matters worse for myself as years got on, you know.